The door creaked open like a gunshot in the silence of the empty house. And there they were, naked, tangled, my stepfather's hands gripping Aiden's hips as if the world outside didn't exist. A guttural moan escaped Aiden's lips. My best friend since kindergarten. The one who'd promised we'd conquer the world together. Now arching into the man who'd raised me after Mom's accident. I dropped my backpack, the thud echoing like my heart shattering on the hardwood floor. And in that split second, every lie we'd built our lives on crumbled into dust. I stood there, paralyzed, the metallic tang of rain-soaked air from outside mixing with the musky scent of sweat and betrayal wafting from the room. It was a Thursday in late October, the kind of drizzly Seattle evening where the city lights blurred into halos on the windshield, making you feel like the whole world was underwater. I'd come home early from soccer practice, skipping the usual post-game burgers at Dick's Drive-In because Coach had benched me again. Something about focus issues. If only he'd known the real distraction was the knot in my gut every time Aiden flashed that crooked smile during lunch. The one that made my stomach flip in ways I couldn't admit, not even to myself. My stepfather, Harlan, was a broad-shouldered ex-Marine turned high school history teacher. The kind of guy who grilled the perfect steak and quoted FDR at family dinners to make Mom laugh. He'd married her when I was 12, right after Dad bailed for some cocktail waitress in Reno, leaving us with a mortgage and a mountain of unanswered questions. Harlan had stepped in like a rock, teaching me how to throw a spiral, how to shave without nicking my chin, how to pretend everything was fine when it wasn't. Mom's cancer had come fast, stage 4 by summer's end, and she'd slipped away in her sleep last spring, leaving the house feeling like a museum of her ghost, her watercolor prints on the walls, her lavender candles still half-burned on the mantel. But this was no ghost. This was flesh and blood, right there on the queen bed she'd picked out at IKEA, the one with the faded blue duvet now twisted around their legs. Harlan's salt and pepper hair was slicked back with sweat, his face buried in Aiden's neck. And Aiden, his lithe runner's body glistening, eyes squeezed shut in what looked like ecstasy. They didn't hear me at first. Or maybe they did, but the rhythm of their bodies drowned it out. Liam! Harlan's voice cracked like thunder when he finally looked up, his eyes widening in horror as he shoved Aiden off him, scrambling for the sheet like it could erase the last 5 minutes. Aiden bolted upright, his face draining of color, that familiar freckle-dusted nose wrinkling in panic. Shit, Liam. Wait. I didn't wait. I turned and bolted down the stairs, my sneakers squeaking on the polished oak, heart hammering so hard I thought it had burst through my ribs. The front door slammed behind me, and I was out in the rain, the cold Pacific Northwest downpour soaking me to the bone in seconds. I ran without direction, past the manicured lawns of our Magnolia neighborhood, the glowing windows of neighbors settling into their evening routines, dinner tables set, TVs flickering with Thursday night football. How could they not know? How could the world keep spinning when mine had just imploded? I ended up at Golden Gardens Park, collapsing onto a bench overlooking the sound, the distant ferries cutting through the mist like knives. My phone buzzed relentlessly, Harlan first, then Aiden, texts piling up like accusations. Son, please come home. We need to talk. Liam, it's not what you think. Call me. Not what I think. I'd seen enough late-night scrolls through Grindr curiosities in my own guilty moments to know exactly what it was. Harlan, the straight-laced widower who'd never so much as glanced at a pride flag. Aiden, my rock, the guy who'd held my hand through Mom's funeral, who'd crashed on our couch after his own folks kicked him out for being Too effeminate. Aiden, who I jerked off thinking about more times than I could count, only to bury it deep because best friends don't cross that line. The rain eased to a drizzle, and I sat there until my fingers pruned, replaying the scene like a glitchy VHS tape. Harlan's gruff laugh earlier that week, inviting Aiden over for movie night while I was at practice. Aiden's casual "sure, mister." Sounds good. The way they'd both gone quiet when I mentioned heading out early today. Pieces clicked into place. Puzzle I hadn't wanted to solve. How long? Weeks? Months? Since Mom's death, Harlan had thrown himself into work, coming home late with whiskey on his breath, eyes distant. Aiden had been around more. Checking in, he'd said, but now it reeked of cover. By the time I dragged myself home, the house was dark, save for the porch light Harlan always left on for me. The door opened without a knock. Aiden's Jeep was in the drive, headlights off like a guilty secret. They were in the living room, dressed now, Harlan in his flannel robe, Aiden in jeans and a hoodie that smelled like my laundry detergent. Aiden stood first, hands out like I was a spooked animal. "Liam, man, listen, save it." My voice was raw, scraped from the cold. I glared at Harlan, who looked smaller somehow, shoulders hunched on the edge of the couch. "You gonna tell me this is some phase? Or that it's my fault for interrupting your little bromance?" Harlan's jaw tightened, that marine steel flickering back. "It ain't like that, boy. Aiden and me. It's complicated. Your mom. Don't." The word sliced the air. "Don't you dare bring her into this." Aiden stepped closer, his green eyes pleading, the same ones that had made me spill my guts about every crush, every fear. "We didn't plan it. It just happened. After the funeral, things got heavy. Harlan was a mess, and I was here. And you thought screwing my stepdad was therapy?" I laughed, bitter and hollow, backing toward the stairs. "Get out, Aiden. Both of you, just get out of my sight." He didn't move, his hand brushing my arm, electric, familiar, wrong. "Liam, you're my best friend. This doesn't change us." But it did. Everything changed in that rain-soaked instant. The next morning, I called in sick to school, holing up in my room with the blinds drawn, the world reduced to the hum of the space heater and the distant clatter of Harlan making coffee downstairs. Sleep had come in fits, haunted by flashes of skin and moans, my own body betraying me with a confusing ache low in my gut. Was I angry? Yeah. Hurt? To the core. But underneath it all, a twisted envy gnawed at me. Aiden's abandon, the way Harlan had looked at him like he was the only thing anchoring him to the earth. Harlan knocked once, soft, then pushed the door open with a mug of black coffee, my ritual since Mom. He set it on the nightstand, not meeting my eyes. "We gotta talk, Liam. Can't leave it like this." I pulled the covers higher, staring at the ceiling fan's lazy spin. "What's there to say? You like dick now? Congrats." "Pass the rainbow flag," he sighed, sinking onto the desk chair, elbows on knees. Harlan was pushing 50, lines etched deep from years of squinting at battlefield maps and then at chalkboards, but today he looked wrecked, stubble silvering his chin. "It ain't about liking. Your mom knew, son. Before we married. It was part of why she chose me. Said I was safe, steady. But after she went, Aiden was here. Kind, listening, One night led to another. Mom knew? The revelation hit like a sucker punch. She'd always been the soft one, hugging me tight when Dad left, whispering that love came in all shapes. Had she seen this coming? And Aiden? My friend? What? You two swapped notes on how to gut me. Harlan's eyes darkened. He cares about you, Liam. More than you know. This wasn't meant to hurt, but it did. I sat up, the coffee sloshing. You're supposed to be the adult. The one who doesn't blow up the family we had left. He nodded, slow, pain carving his face. I know. And I'm sorry. But running from it won't fix shit. Aiden's scared too. He thinks he'll lose you. Good. I wanted to snap. Let him. But the words stuck. Because losing Aiden felt like losing half my soul. We'd met in 3rd grade, bonding over Pokemon cards and a shared hatred of math. He'd come out at 15, casual as announcing pizza toppings, and I'd clapped him on the back, called him brave, all while shoving my own questions into a lockbox. Kissing boys in dreams didn't count, right? Not when you had college apps and soccer tryouts to chase. Harlan stood, clapping a hand on my shoulder, hesitant, like I might shatter. Take the day. But come dinner, we talk. All 3 of us. No bullshit. He left, and I sipped the coffee, bitter as truth. By afternoon, Aiden texted again. Can we meet? Park, please. Against my better judgment, I went. Golden Gardens again, the benches slick from last night's rain. Aiden was there, hood up against the wind, tossing pebbles into the water. He looked up as I approached, relief flooding his face, but I kept distance, arms crossed. You hate me, he said. Not a question. Not hate. Just, why? He raked a hand through his dark curls, the ones I'd teased him about since middle school. Harlan's lonely. I'm figuring shit out. It started with talks, then drinks, then one stupid kiss that snowballed. I thought I could keep it separate. From you, from us. Us. The word hung, loaded. Aiden's gaze sharpened, searching mine. You know what I mean. We've always been more than friends. Liam. Don't pretend. Heat crept up my neck. That's not fair. You don't get to drop that now. After I fucked your stepdad? He winced. Yeah. Bad timing. But it's true. I've waited years for you to see it. The admission cracked something in me. Anger, desire, grief all swirling. I stepped closer, the space between us electric. What if I do see it? Now, when everything's ruined, then we fix it. His voice was soft, urgent, hand reaching for mine. I let him take it, the warmth seeping through the chill, and for a moment, the world narrowed to that touch. But fixing? That was a lie we both wanted to believe. Dinner that night was a minefield. The kitchen table set with Harlan's famous meatloaf, Mom's recipe. Ironically, steam rising like unspoken accusations. Aiden sat across from me, picking at his peas, his knee brushing mine under the table in what might have been accident or apology. Harlan carved the loaf with mechanical precision, his knuckles white on the knife. Rules, he said, passing plates. No yelling. No walking out. We lay it all bare. I nodded, fork stabbing a potato like it owed me money. Aiden cleared his throat. I'm bi. Always have been. Harlan. He's the same. We didn't mean to hide it from you, Liam. It just happened fast. Fast. I snorted. How fast? Like, post-funeral wine fast. Or let's ruin Liam's life fast. Harlan's fork clattered. Enough, son. Aiden's right, it was wine at first. Grief talking. Your mom would have understood. She told me once, Harlan, love's not a straight line. The mention stung less this time, morphing into a dull ache. Mom had been the bridge, her quiet wisdom holding us. Without her, we were adrift. So what now? You two a thing? And I'm the third wheel in my own house. Aiden's eyes met mine. Fierce. No. It's not like that. Harlan and me. It's comfort, not forever. But you and me. That's different. Harlan raised a brow, glancing between us. Different how? The air thickened. Aiden's foot nudged mine again. Deliberate. I pulled away, heat rising. Drop it. But Harlan wasn't dropping. I've seen the way you two look at each other. Like I looked at your mom. Scared but sure. Jesus. Harlan. I shoved my plate. You don't get to play matchmaker after I caught you balls deep in my best friend. He flinched. But Aiden laughed. A short, broken sound. He's not wrong. Liam, we've danced around this since high school. Remember that camping trip? You and me in the tent. Rain pounding. And you rolled over, arm across my chest. I nearly kissed you then. The memory hit hard, the nylon sleeping bag. His breath warm on my neck. The excuse I'd made about nightmares. I'd woken hard as hell, blaming the cold. That was nothing, was it? Aiden leaned in, voice low. Or were you just as scared as me? Harlan watched, silent, then pushed back his chair. I'll clean up. You two talk. He gathered plates, disappearing into the kitchen, leaving us in the dim glow of the pendant light. Aiden's hand found mine under the table, thumb tracing circles. I love him, Liam. Harlan. Like a dad. Mostly. But you're everything else. My pulse thundered. This was insane. Yesterday's horror morphing into confession hour. You betrayed me. Both of you. I know. His grip tightened. And I'll spend forever making it right. Starting with this, I want you. Have wanted you since we were kids stealing glances in the locker room. The words unlocked the floodgates. I yanked my hand away, standing so fast the chair tipped. You think a sorry fuck fixes this? After you chose him? Aiden rose too, backing me against the wall. His body heat a wall of temptation. It wasn't choosing. It was surviving. But you're my home. His lips brushed mine. Tentative. Tasting of salt and meatloaf and forbidden want. I froze, then surged forward, kissing him back with all the fury I'd bottled. Teeth clashing, hands fisting his shirt. It was messy, desperate, the kind of kiss that rewires your brain. We broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed. Upstairs, he whispered. Your room, I nodded, leading him past Harlan, who pretended not to see, suds up to his elbows in the sink. My bedroom door clicked shut, and clothes hit the floor in a frenzy, his hoodie, my tee, jeans pooling at ankles. Aiden's body was lean muscle from track, freckles dusting his shoulders like stars. I traced them, hesitant, until he pulled me down, our naked skin electric. It was awkward at first, elbows bumping, breaths sinking off rhythm. But then instinct took over, his mouth on my neck, hands exploring like we'd mapped this territory in dreams. When he entered me, slow and careful, the world narrowed to that burn, that fullness, pleasure twisting with the pain of yesterday. We moved together, whispers turning to moans, the bed creaking under us like a confession. After, tangled in sheets, Aiden's head on my chest, reality crept back. "What about Harlan?" I murmured, fingers in his hair. "He's family. We're family too. We'll figure it." But figuring meant facing the fallout. School the next day was hell. Whispers about my mopey absence, coach's side-eye. Aiden caught me at lunch, sliding into the booth with a tray of tater tots, his smile shy. "Last night was real." I stole a tot, our knees knocking. "But we can't just pretend." He nodded, serious. "Date night? Friday. No Harlan. No drama." I agreed, a spark igniting despite the ashes. That week blurred, classes on autopilot. Harlan's awkward attempts at normalcy, like leaving extra bacon on my plate. He cornered me Thursday night in the garage, oil-smudged hands wiping on a rag as I tinkered with my bike chain. "You two okay?" he asked, gruff. I wiped sweat from my brow. "Trying." "You?" he chuckled, dry. "Jealous?" "Nah." "Relieved. Been waiting for you to grow a pair." Figuratively. Dad joke. Gross. But I smiled. The first real one in days. "Thanks. For everything." He pulled me into a hug, backslapping firm. "Love you, kid. Always." Friday came with butterflies. Me in chinos and a button-down. Aiden picking me up in his Jeep, windows down to the salty breeze. We hit Pike Place, dodging tourists, sharing salmon chowder from a stall, his arms slung casual around my shoulders. No hiding, not here in the market's chaos. Laughter came easy, old rhythms syncing with new heat. His hand in mine as we watched fishmongers hurl salmon. A stolen kiss behind a flower stand, petals brushing our cheeks. Dinner at a hole-in-the-wall Italian joint in Capitol Hill, candles flickering on checkered tables. Aiden ordered Chianti, bold for 18, and we toasted to new beginnings, glasses clinking like promises. Over pasta, he opened up his parents' rejection, the church youth group that called him an abomination, how Harlan's acceptance had cracked him open. "You're brave," I said, twirling spaghetti. I hid. "Still am. Kinda. Not anymore." His foot hooked mine under the table. "Not with me." We walked Belltown after, streetlights haloing the Space Needle in the distance, his head on my shoulder as we strolled. At my door, the kiss was slower, deeper, hands roaming until Harlan's truck rumbled up the drive, headlights sweeping us apart. "See you tomorrow?" Aiden breathed. "Count on it." But tomorrow brought storms. Saturday practice. I scored 2 goals. High on the night before, only for coach to pull me aside. "Heard about your home life, kid. Need to talk." Gossip mill. Someone's mom had seen Aiden's Jeep too often. "It's fine," I muttered, but the seed of dread sprouted. By afternoon, my phone lit up, anonymous texts, "Fag house. Keep your stepdaddy away from my son." Harlan's number next, "Stay home tonight." Trouble. Aiden showed anyway, face pale. My folks found out. About Harlan, then. "They're coming over." The confrontation loomed like thunderheads over the sound. Harlan paced the living room like a caged bear, flannel untucked, while Aiden and I huddled on the couch, my hands slick in his. The clock ticked mercilessly, 7:15 p.m., until headlights pierced the curtains, a minivan pulling up with the screech of tires on wet pavement. Aiden's parents, the Hargroves, were Bible Belt transplants from Alabama, all pressed khakis and pearl necklaces, their faith as rigid as the cross necklace glinting on Mrs. Hargrove's chest. The door opened without a knock. Mr. Hargrove storming in first, red-faced, barrel-chested, reeking of aftershave and fury. Aiden Michael Hargrove, what in God's name have you done to this family? Aiden stood, chin up. Dad, sit. We talk. Sit? With him. His finger jabbed at Harlan, who crossed his arms, unmoved. Mrs. Hargrove hovered behind, clutching her purse like a shield, eyes darting to me. Pity. Accusation. Harlan's voice was gravel. Mr. Hargrove. Inside voices. This is my home. Your den of sin. You mean? He spat the words, turning to Aiden. We raised you better. Church every Sunday, youth group, and you repay us by whoring with this. This man old enough to be your father. Aiden's fists clenched. It's not whoring. It's love. And Liam. Liam. Mrs. Hargrove gasped, finally spotting our linked hands. Oh, Lord. Not you too, child. We've prayed for you, Aiden. But this? 2 boys? Under one roof. I squeezed Aiden's hand, standing beside him. It's not a sin. It's us, Mr. Hargrove's laugh was ugly. Us? You're confused, son. That devil's got his hooks in you. First him. Nod to Harlan. Now your friend. Pack your things. You're coming home. No. Aiden's voice cracked but held. This is home. Harlan's family. Liam's. Family don't fornicate. He advanced, grabbing Aiden's arm. Harlan stepped forward, a wall of muscle. Hands off, sir. Or I call the cops. The room exploded, shouts overlapping. Mrs. Hargrove weeping prayers. Mr. Hargrove roaring about hellfire. Aiden wrenched free, stumbling into me, and I caught him, our eyes locking in shared defiance. I choose this, he said, loud enough for all. I choose them. That broke something in his dad. He lunged, fist raised, but Harlan intercepted, pinning him against the wall with effortless strength. Out. Now. Before you regret it. They left in a whirlwind, tires spinning gravel, taillights fading into the night. Silence fell, heavy as fallout. Aiden collapsed onto the couch, sobbing, and I wrapped around him, Harlan hovering like a sentinel. I'm sorry, Aiden whispered into my shirt. Ruined everything. You didn't. I kissed his temple. We did together. Harlan poured whiskeys, handing them out like peace offerings. That man's poison. But you're safe here. Both of you. We drank in quiet toasts, the burn chasing away the chill. Later, Aiden and I retreated to my room, bodies seeking solace in the dark. It was gentler this time, explorations turning tender. His lips mapping my collarbone, my fingers tracing the curve of his spine. I love you, he murmured against my skin, the words a vow in the moonlight. Love you too. And I did. Fierce and uncharted. But peace was fleeting. Monday brought school whispers amplified. Texts circulating blurry pics from a neighbor's ring cam. Us kissing on the porch. Lockers slammed with slurs. Gym class dodged with excuses. Coach pulled me again. Counselors waiting. Liam. Get your head straight. The counselor, Ms. Rivera, was a no-nonsense Latina with a rainbow pin on her lanyard. Heard the rumors. Truth. I spilled the walk-in, the hookups, Aiden's folks. She nodded. No judgment. Coming out's a bomb, kid. But you're not alone. GSA meets Wednesdays. Bring your boyfriend. Boyfriend. The word settled warm in my chest. Aiden waited by my locker after, backpack slung low. Wanna skip last period? Lake Union. We did. Renting kayaks. Paddling into the glassy water. Seattle's skyline jagged against the clouds. He told me about the bruises from his dad's discipline, hidden under long sleeves. I admitted the Grindr app deleted in shame, the crushes on teammates I'd buried. You're my first, I said, oars dipping sink. Real first. His smile lit brighter than the sun breaking through. Lucky me. That night, Harlan surprised us. Dinner at Salumi, artisan sandwiches in a cramped artisan shop. His treat. To surviving assholes. He toasted with root beer, and we laughed. The bond mending thread by thread. But betrayal brewed elsewhere. Midweek. Aiden's phone buzzed during study hall. A blocked number. Tell your fag family to back off. Or else. He showed me. Pale. Dad's rallying the church. Petitions to get Harlan fired. Fear coiled. Harlan's job was his anchor. History teacher at Roosevelt High. Beloved for Civil War reenactments. We fight, I said. Fierce. We did. Harlan meeting with the principal. Stonewalling rumors. Aiden blocking numbers. Leaning on us. Romance bloomed in stolen moments. Notes in lockers. Handjobs in his Jeep after dark. Whispers of futures in college dorms. Climax cracked open 2 weeks later. At the fall festival, booths of caramel apples. Hayrides under harvest moons. We'd planned a double date. Harlan with a colleague, bless his awkward straight attempts. But as fireworks burst overhead, a crowd parted, and there was Mr. Hargrove, megaphone in hand, flanked by church picketers. Repent! Sodom in our schools. Harlan shoved through, Aiden freezing beside me. Get inside, I urged, but he charged forward, ripping the megaphone. This is my life. Leave us alone. Fists flew, Hargrove's goons grabbing Aiden, a crack of knuckles on jaw. I tackled one, rage blind, until cops swarmed, sirens wailing. Harlan pulled me off, blood on his shirt from Aiden's split lip. Station house was fluorescent hell statements, ice packs, Aiden's mom arriving tear-streaked, begging forgiveness. He's our boy, she whispered to Harlan. Help us fix him. Nothing to fix, Harlan growled. But you're welcome at Thanksgiving, if you learn love over lectures. Charges dropped. Assault on Aiden. Disturbing peace for the mob. We drove home silent, Aiden's head lolling against my shoulder, bruised but unbroken. In bed that night, he traced my knuckles, swollen from the fray. Worth it. Every punch. I kissed his forehead. For us, but the real wound festered. Days later, a letter arrived, Harlan's resignation, personal reasons, principal's note, Pressure from donors, Hargrove's cronies. He broke it to us over pancakes. Voice steady. Time for a change. Maybe adjunct at community college. Or something else. Aiden's eyes welled. My fault. Ours, Harlan corrected, clapping our shoulders. Family sticks. Winter descended on Seattle like a heavy blanket. Frost etching the windows. Holidays looming with forced cheer. Harlan strung lights on the eaves, muttering about damn tangles, while Aiden and I baked Mom's gingerbread, flour dusting our noses, kisses sweet with dough. But under the tinsel, cracks widened, Harlan's job hunt stalling, Aiden's grades slipping from nightmares of disownment, my own soccer scholarship dreams fading amid distractions. Christmas Eve, we gathered round the tree, stockings stuffed, Bing Crosby crooning on the stereo. Harlan handed out gifts. A leather-bound journal for me, Write Your Truths, son. Running shoes for Aiden, Keep Pacing Forward. Aiden's present to Harlan was a framed photo from Mom's last barbecue. Us four laughing, frozen in innocence. For me, a silver bracelet, engraved always yours. Wore mine under jerseys, he admitted, clasping it on. Waiting, tears pricked. We made love by firelight later, slow and sacred, bodies a map of healing, his scars from childhood belts, my freckles he'd kiss like constellations. Marry me someday? He joked, breath hot on my neck. Someday, I echoed, meaning it. New Year's brought resolution therapy, joint sessions with a queer-affirming shrink downtown. Harlan went solo too, unpacking marine repression, Mom's open heart. She saved me, he said one night, whiskey in hand. Taught me love's fluid. You boys? You're her legacy. Spring thawed the ice, but not the chill. Aiden's parents sent letters. Apologies laced with pray for guidance. Ignored at first, then answered by Harlan. Come see him graduate. No sermons. They did. Tentative in the bleachers. Clapping as Aiden crossed the stage. Valedictorian speech a quiet manifesto. Family isn't blood or belief. It's choice. After awkward hugs in the gym lobby. Mrs. Hargrove pressing cookies into my hand. He's happy, she murmured. That's the miracle. Summer scorched in. College letters arriving, me to UW on partial ride. Aiden to the same. Undeclared but dreaming graphic design. We worked lifeguard shifts at Green Lake. Bronzed and bored. Stealing laps together. Bodies slicing water like secrets. One August dusk. Post-shift. We picnicked on the shore. PB and JS. Stolen beer. Remember the walk-in? Aiden asked. Head in my lap. Like yesterday, I threaded his hair. Changed everything. For better. He sat up. Serious. But Harlan. He's drifting. Barely adjunct gigs. Guilt twisted. Harlan had sold the truck for tuition. Smiling through it. We help. Somehow, opportunity knocked mid-month. Harlan's old Marine buddy. Opening a charter fishing outfit in Alaska. 6 months. Good pay. You boys hold the fort. We nodded, masking worry. His goodbye barbecue was bittersweet. Neighbors toasting. Aiden grilling salmon. Me fighting tears as his taillights faded north. Alone. The house echoed. Aiden moved in officially, his clothes mingling with mine. Routines sinking, morning runs. Late-night Netflix. Sex that evolved from frantic to familiar. but absence amplified cracks. One night, post-argument over dishes, stupid, about whose turn, he snapped, "You think I don't see it? How you look at Harlan sometimes. Like he's the ghost between us." I reeled. "What? No." "Yes. That hug in the garage. The way you light up at his stories. It's not just dad stuff. Liam. Jealousy. Bro. He's family. You're more." He laughed. "Hurt. Then act like it. Commit. No half measures." I pulled him close. Apologies in kisses, but doubt seeded. Was it true? Harlan's steadiness, his quiet strength, echoes of my buried admiration, or just fear of losing the only father I'd known? Fall quarter hit. Dorms calling, but we commuted, clinging to home. Parties tempted, Aiden's art crowd, flirty boys with piercings, but we stuck, loyal. Until homecoming weekend, UW versus Huskies, tailgate chaos. I got separated in the crush, beer-fueled, stumbling into a frat house haze. There, in a dim corner, was Jake, my old soccer buddy, out and proud, lips on some guy's neck. He spotted me, grinned. "Liam, fresh meat." One drink led to two, shots burning away inhibitions. Jake's hand on my thigh, whisper, "Aiden's lucky." But if he slacks, the kiss was impulse, rough, wrong, tasting of regret. I bolted before more, puking in bushes, guilt a vice. Home, Aiden asleep, bracelet glinting. I showered scalding, scrubbing phantom touches, vowing silence. But secrets fester. Week later, anonymous email to Aiden, grainy photo, me and Jake, timestamped. "Your boy's cheating. Like father, like son." He confronted me in the quad, rain lashing, photo thrust on his phone. "Explain." It was nothing. A kiss, drunk. I stopped, tears mixed with downpour. "I swear." His face crumpled, betrayal's echo. "Nothing? After everything? Harlan. Now this. Not like. Save it." He walked away, shoulders hunched, leaving me drowned. Days blurred agony. Texts unread. Classes skipped. Harlan calling from Alaska. "What's eating you boys?" I lied. Midterms. Truth bombed when Aiden showed at the house. Duffel packed. Space. Need to think. "Don't." I grabbed his arm. "Please. You broke us." Voice steel. Like walking in broke you. Door shut. Engine roared. Alone. I shattered, sobs racking. Bracelet snapped in fury. Betrayal's cycle. My own hand wielding the knife. Harlan returned early, sensing storm, finding me curled on the couch. Spill. I did the kiss, the photo, Aiden's flight. He listened. Then, "Hurts like hell, don't it? But running's not the answer. Go get him." I drove through night, to Aiden's cousins in Tacoma, pounding the door at dawn. He answered, eyes red-rimmed, pulling me into rain-soaked embrace. "Missed you. Forgive," I whispered. "Not yet." But trying. Rebuilding was excavation, shoveling ruins for salvageable pieces. Aiden stayed with his cousin. Us meeting neutral, coffee shops, parks, no touches, just words. "Why Jake?" he asked once, steam rising from lattes. Fear, honesty raw. Of us being too good, too soon. Sabotage, He nodded, slow. I get it. After Harlan, trust's fragile. Therapy doubled, couple sessions, unpacking betrayals layered like Seattle fog. MS. Rivera mediated, vulnerabilities the glue. Stick or slip. We stuck. Harlan mediated too, back full-time, jobless but job hunting, cooking brunches that stretched into afternoons of board games and brutal truths. I pushed Aiden away once, he admitted over Monopoly. Grief made me selfish. Don't repeat. By Thanksgiving, Aiden's parents joined, tentative truce, turkey carved with shaky hands. Mr. Hargrove shook mine. Boy's tough. Like his ma, Mrs. Hargrove hugged Aiden fierce, whispering blessings sans brimstone. Winter break. We volunteered at the LGBTQ center, serving hot cocoa to runaways. Aiden's sketches brightening walls. One kid, 16 and freshly out, reminded me of us. Scared I'll lose my bro. Won't, Aiden said, firm. Family evolves. Christmas redux. Harlan's gift a keychain. House key for Aiden. Engraved permanent. You're stuck with us. Ours was intimate. A scrapbook of us. Childhood Polaroids. Walk-in aftermath notes. Healing Polaroids. Our story, I said, kissing him under mistletoe. New Year. We rang in at a queer club, bodies pulsing to bass. Harlan awkwardly two-stepping with a date, progress. Aiden and I danced close, sweat slick, his laugh in my ear. This is forever? Damn right. Spring bloomed forgiveness. Soccer season. I started, Aiden cheering from stands, bracelet rest rung. Scholarship locked, UW full ride. His art show, downtown gallery, pieces of us, abstract embraces, shattered glass mended gold. Climax crested May graduation eve. Harlan's surprise. Vow renewal, not for him, but us. Backyard. String lights. Friends gathered. No rings yet, but promises. I choose you. Broken bits and all. Aiden's eyes shone. Through betrayals? Especially, but life tests. June. Harlan's cancer diagnosis, prostate. Early, but shadow. We rallied chemo drives. Aiden's sketches for morale. My shifts at the center doubling. Like mom? I asked. Bedside. Worse, he joked. Weak. But I've got you warriors. Summer anchored us. Alaska trip postponed. Instead road tripping Route 66. Wind in hair. Motels with neon signs. Aiden drove. Playlist of Springsteen and Hozier. I navigated. Detours to diners. One Nevada night. Under stars vast as regrets. He proposed ring from a pawn shop. Silver band etched shattered to whole. Yes, I breathed. Sealing it on dusty sheets. Fall. College loomed dorms. But off-campus lease planned. Harlan's remission hit September. Cheers echoing. Aiden's folks visited. Full embrace. Even Jake apologized. Beers at a bar. Dumb kid shit. Happy for you. Humanistic close. No tidy bows, but threads woven strong. Harlan walked me to my first lecture. Arms slung. Proud. Son. Of all. Aiden and I. Hand in hand. Dorm-bound boxes in Jeep. Changed everything, he said, echoing the hook. For the better. Kiss at dawn. Seattle waking behind. Years later, we'd look back. Not on the walk-in's shock, but the love it unearthed. Betrayal's blade cuts deep, but healing forges steel. In America's messy heart, we found ours dramatic, emotional, unapologetic. And that, friends, is how a shattered door opened worlds.